Concerns are growing over road safety along the stretch from Senan's rugby pitch to the Camogie roundabout in Shannon, with residents warning that speeding, illegal parking and the lack of footpaths are putting pedestrians and cyclists at risk. The road serves multiple sports facilities and nearby housing estates, and locals say traffic volumes and dangerous behaviour have increased significantly in recent years. Joining us for more on this is the Sinn Fein Shannon Municipal District Councillor James Ryan. James, thanks for joining us on this issue this morning.
Good morning.
Can you just outline the specific road safety concerns being raised along that stretch of road, and from your perspective, what are you being told about how serious the situation is at the moment?
Well, the big issue there really is the fact that there is a lot of playing pitches down there, and a lot of people are parking, and you can't blame them. There's nowhere else to park, so they're parking on the side of the road. There isn't paths, there isn't sufficient parking spaces. And there is cycle lanes, which obviously are getting in the way of people parking. But as I said, there's nowhere else to park. Now, there is also a bit of speeding going on down there too. Now, if you've got cars parked out on roads and you've got people speeding, and you've also got a lack of paths, and anyone walking then is put in danger as well. So there are a number of safety concerns, to be honest with you, down there. Not just one. There's at least three. So yeah, it's an issue, and it's a long, big area too that certainly needs to be done there, And
I guess, James, the fact that road is serving not just one, but a number of sports facilities, as well as the nearby housing estates, traffic undoubtedly has increased in recent years, which must be having an impact on pedestrians and cyclists.
Yeah, no, it most certainly has, because all the pitches are, concentrated down in one area. And it's a 1 to 2 kilometre stretch if you take in everything down there. So yeah, it has. The traffic's increased, and it's meant that people don't have an awful lot of places to park as well, because of the amount of different activities going on down there. So your average person is bringing down their child, and a lot of the time they're finding nowhere to park, and you can't blame them. They're going to park on the side of the road.
Yeah, one of the key issues being raised is that pedestrians are being forced to use the cycle lanes because there are no footpaths, which sounds like a recipe for disaster. It doesn't exactly sound acceptable from a safety and planning point of view.
No, it doesn't. And the thing is that there was, speaking to my colleague Deputy McGettigan very recently about this. I mean, there were plans to put in pathways there, but it's actually in need of capital funding, which because of the amount and the size of the path, it's something that would go beyond the budget. Unfortunately, I think of the local MD. So I do believe that capital funding was applied for, but it hasn't actually been received yet. So there are plans. I mean, it's the MD is well aware that there are safety issues down there, but and obviously putting in a pathway the whole way along would be one of the big ones to fix some of the the most pressing problem. Obviously, would be, of course, any danger to pedestrians. But as I say, capital funding was applied for, but it hasn't been received. So that hasn't, it looks like it's not going to start anytime soon.
So residents, and Eva, you have explained how essential footpaths would be. What about speed ramps? Residents also calling for those along that stretch of road. Is that something you believe could make a real difference?
Oh yeah, I mean, look, speed ramps are something that can actually be done. So what will happen there, hopefully very soon, and I have asked the council on this one, is that the road will be assessed again, and of course we'll be able to put in some speed ramps in places, because at the end of the day there is absolutely no need to be speeding down in that area, and obviously anyone going fast, it doesn't pose dangers to pedestrians and cyclists, and anybody even alighting from their cars.
Yeah, people in the area say they were promised footpaths after earthworks were cleared a few years ago. What exactly happened to those plans?
Well, look, as I just said, really, from, speaking with Donna McGettigan, she was involved originally with trying to get footpaths in there because, it's an ongoing concern. Capital funding was applied for, but it just hasn't been received. I mean, that's unfortunately what's happened at the moment. It just hasn't happened, so they don't, the money to actually do this, because it's, let's be honest here now, it is a big project, it's quite a stretch of road, So, and it's not something that would take a short amount of time. It would be, it would take a long time to do. So a lot of money is needed. And as I say, capital funding was applied for, and it hasn't been received. So that's where, unfortunately, we are at the moment. But in terms of the speed bumps, that is something that can be done, I think, in the short term. But yes, there's no doubt paths are needed there, and they will have to go in at some point.
And I know you have raised the issue with the local authority, and we did reach out to Clare County Council on this, and they provided us with this statement. It says Shannon Municipal District has recently received correspondence from a local public representative relating to the installation of traffic calming ramps on Bohershida in Tullyvarriga and Shannon. There is a footpath on Bohershida to accommodate pedestrians from Rossmin and Shleenamara. However, the rest of this road does not have a footpath. The installation of a new footpath will be subject to securing planning and capital funding. Shannon Municipal District will carry out a traffic survey to establish the traffic volumes and their speed to assist with any traffic calming measures. James, your response to that, presumably the public representative is yourself.
I would believe it is, yes. Yeah, I mean, look, and as I say, I mean, you know, they will be surveyed, the area will be surveyed, and also, just again, Clare County Council there confirmed exactly what I already said, which was, of course, that capital funding has been applied for, but, you know, there's nothing in the offing at the moment, unfortunately.
And that's got to be great concern for locals, James, to hear that no timeline whatsoever on the capital funding is disappointing, given the potential seriousness of incidents that could arise from the issues that are there around road safety concerns.
Totally agree with you, yeah. And it's just something that we have to keep pushing for on our side here. And, you know, because it is essential. I mean, you know, obviously the volume down there because of not only residents, but the fact that you've lots and lots of different activities going on down there all the time. Children and adults and whatever, everyone going down there in cars. Yeah, it's absolutely essential, you know. So it's all we can do here on our side is continue to push, you know, with Deputy McGettigan in the Dáil and myself and everybody else in Shannon MD to just push for this, because it's absolutely no doubt needed as soon as possible.
Yeah, as I said earlier, it's a recipe for disaster. Just before I let you go, James, what would you say to people listening this morning from Shannon, residents and parents taking their kids to play sports down at the facilities that are around that area, who are worried about safety, particularly when training and matches are taking place and there's increased traffic volumes?
Well, I would say that, you know, just to be extremely careful, because we do know that there are dangers down there. There is intentions to improve the area, as I say, with speed bumps and other traffic calming measures. And hopefully, not too far in the distant future, capital funding will be found to actually put in the path, you know, to make it a much, much safer area.
OK, we do have to leave there, James. Thanks for being with us on the show this morning. That's the Shannon Sinn Fein councillor, James Ryan, with us on Morning Focus.